Hey guys, what's going on? Welcome back to the channel. Thanks for tuning in. And today we're going to do something a little bit different. I'm going to share with you guys what are my top 5 things, my biggest pet peeves, or the things I don't like about bass tournaments and some bass anglers. And I'd be curious to hear your guys too. Everybody's got a list of things that sort of irritate them, and I'm going to give you mine today. So I want to preface this just by saying I know there's a lot of sensitive types out there. I'm just going to tell you guys, don't get your panties in a wad about this. This is all in good fun. Don't take it serious. If you say that I'm complaining or whining, I just come back and say, well, quit complaining and whining about my videos. So I'm just going to have a good time here. So don't take it too serious if you get offended easily, that type of thing. But hey, before we get into it, just wanted to remind you guys, Father's Day is coming up pretty quick. Great Father's Day gift if you want to check them out are some of my signature sunglasses from Solar Bat here. These are the Randy Blockett Signature Series models here. You can check them out. I'll include the Solar Bat link in the description here. You guys can check them out. Awesome glasses. I did a video on them a couple months ago, and I think you guys will really like them to check them out. Great Father's Day gifts. So that's today's shameless plug there. Okay, let's get into this things, my things that are my pet peeves and things that irritate me. First one I want to get into is this increasing trend I see amongst anglers and a lot of pro anglers that are starting to call bass tournaments derbies. Guys, these are not derbies. That's an insult to the sport. These are bass tournaments or they're professional bass tournaments or they're events. They're not called derbies. Derbies is something they called some type of a Walmart fishing contest back in 1970 or something you'd read in Field and Stream back in 1955. These aren't derbies. I don't know why that term derby, it's like people are trying to force this catchphrase of derby working, and it doesn't work. It's an insult to the sport. And I love Seth Feider. I love Seth Feider's hair. I think he's a cool dude. I think he's an unbelievable talented angler. But I saw he called the Bassmaster Classic a derby this week. So come on, man, this is not no derby. This is a bass event, a bass fishing tournament. And so, show it the respect it deserves and stop using that term derby. That's my first one. Second one that is sort of my pet peeve, or things I'm going to gripe about a little bit, is getting up early to go bass fishing, or specifically in the bass fishing tournaments. I don't understand where this trend that people started, that you have to get up at 3 o'clock in the morning to get ready for a tournament or to go fishing, to be out there at daylight. I can tell you guys right now, bass fishing early in the morning is highly overrated. Most of the success I have in my tournament fishing and my fishing in general is up in the day. I just have never understood the need to get up in the middle of the night and dark and freeze your butt off, to go fishing. I just never understood that. And the best tournaments I've ever fished was back in 2002 or 3, I think it was. I fished the Bassmaster Elite 50 circuit. This was the top 50 guys on the Bassmaster circuit. We fished a series of 4 events, and these were televised by ESPN. And our tournament hours were from 10 a.m. till 6 p.m. That was the greatest thing I had ever been in. You could get up when you wanted to. If you wanted to work on some tackle in the morning, you could do it. You drove to the ramp during the daylight. It wasn't dark. It just was a great event. And they weighed in at 6 o'clock, gave guys a chance to get off work to come to the weigh-ins. I don't understand why all tournaments don't adopt that 10 to 6 p.m. tournament hours. To me, it is the best hours to fish a tournament. So I just, I have to get up early all the time for work and to take care of kids here, and I have for years tournament fishing. But that's one of the biggest things I don't like about fishing, is having to get up early unnecessarily. I just can't stand it. Okay, that's number 2. Number 3 is the dudes that drive too fast. Man, I'm telling you what, there's something about bass fishermen that, bass fishermen, they tend to drive too fast in their trucks and their boats, and I see this all the time. I can't tell you guys how many tournaments that I go to where everybody has to it's 4:30 and 5 o'clock in the morning, and they're driving 15 miles an hour over the speed limit just to get to the ramp at pitch black dark and sit there for 2 hours. and then they get in their boat and they have to drive like a nut through rough water, or through boat wakes, or cutting corners between the bank and another boat, and just driving too fast in general. Man, everybody just needs to chill out and slow down. Speed is overrated, speed is dangerous, speed will get you in trouble. And I just am really irritated. Man, I swear, it's like every time I do a video, there's something. Now there's an ice cream truck coming by. It's either a crotch rocket motorcycle or an ice cream truck or a dump truck. So sorry about that, guys. So that's number 3, dudes that drive too fast. Number 4 is, this is something, if you guys fish tournaments, you'll understand what I'm talking about. That bass fishing, one of my biggest pet peeves and things I don't like about bass fishing is tournament fishing is an emotional roller coaster. If you're a tournament fisherman and you do it long enough, if you've done it as long as I have, you will literally experience every emotion you have as a human being. It's an emotional roller coaster. There are a lot more lows than there are highs, and you're up and down all the time based upon how your performance is going. Because in tournament fishing, you're basically only as good as your last tournament, mentally a lot of times. And you can go from a super high at one part of the day, and a minute later, you can be at rock bottom. And you can be right back up. You catch a 7 or 8 pounder. And then you're right back down if you lose a 4 or 5 pounder that jumps off. So the emotional roller coaster of bass fishing tournaments is one of the things that I just can't stand about this sport, but it's a reality of the sport that you can't deny. And the last one, and these are in no particular order, this is the hodgepodge. The last one is my big pet peeve and things I don't like about this sport, is that there are so many tournament organizations out there that are just so poor at scheduling events around other events. First of all, in my opinion, there's way too many bass tournaments in the country. I think our lakes are overfished. I think they're overpressured. I think there's too many tournaments. But the only way that you get around that is to properly schedule events where they're not overlapping on other tournaments. And this has to be done by spreading the season out at a longer period. I can't tell you how many lakes I go to from March until this time of year where there'll be 10 tournaments on the lake in one weekend. This is ridiculous. So the tournament directors need to do a better job with the local officials that host the tournaments, or that sanction the tournaments, or that issue permits to have the tournament, to limit the amount of tournaments on a lake. Not only this helps out everybody that's in the tournament, you're not on top of somebody, but it's a safety issue. It's not as hard on the fish. It's not as hard on the recreational anglers that don't want to have to deal with 600 boats, waking them up at 5:30 in the morning, running down the lake. So that's one of the big things that, one of the big complaints I have about, tournament fishing is that the tournament directors and the lake authorities, the Chamber of Commerce's, do a very, very poor job of setting down and figuring out scheduling. Because right now, not only you have tournaments that overlap, but you have tournament competition with one circuit that overlaps with the practice period of another circuit. And it's a bad deal for everybody. So anyway, guys, that's just my top 5. Like I said, don't take offense to this. Don't get bent out of shape. And that's why I said that first, because anytime I say something on my videos where I'm complaining about something, I inevitably get a bunch of people saying, "Quit your whining and moaning, Randy," that type of stuff. And like I said, if you don't like the whining and moaning I'm doing here, then you can, there's other channels you guys can watch. But anyway, it's just for fun here. Although it is true what I just told you. I just sort of keeping this thing light, and I want to hear from you guys, man. What do you guys think? What are the things that irritate you about tournament anglers and tournaments in general? I'd be really happy to hear that, and I think a lot of other people out there would too. So anyway, thanks for tuning in to the videos, guys. Hope you didn't mind the little gripe session there. Sometimes that's therapeutic. I think it's good sometimes to get some things out in the open, or let people listen to you, or get an ear from things that are sort of bothering you on your mind. So feel free to do it to me, man. Send me, guys, your comments. And as far as the comments, guys, I just want you to know that I read every single comment that I get. With working 3 jobs and having 4 kids and everything else I got going in, I can't respond to every single one of them, but I do read them all, and just want you guys to know that. So thanks a lot. See y'all later.